option exists.
Yes, it does. So when we have named arguments like this, or named parameters, right? I have a test function. It takes 3 parameters, or 3 arguments, and it's 3 parameters. I have A, B, and C. You'll notice A is required because it does not have a default argument. That's a required parameter. If you try and run this without A, it will error out. B and C are optional because they have default arguments associated with them. And all it does is print the value of each one. Okay, let's run this code and check the results. Okay, so the first time I have test function 3, 7. We know where the 3 goes. The 3 goes into A because that's a required argument. It's going to take the first one there. Where will 7 go logically? B, because it'll take them in order. And then what will C be equal to in that case? 10, because 10 is the default value for C. So the second one, let's take a look. It's test function, and I give it the first parameter, which will go into A, is 25. And then the next parameter, or the next argument, says C equals 24. So C is going to be equal to 24. What will be equal on that second line? 5, right? And then the third example, I'm actually calling those arguments out of order, but I can do that as long as A has a value because it's required, and I give a name to the other one, which is C. So let's run this. Okay, and let me scooch this down a little bit. There we go. Okay, so we can see, oops, I forgot my space in there. You know what, let's just rerun that with the space so that it's actually readable. There we go. That's better, a little bit. Okay, so we have 3, 7, and 10 as predicted. We have 25 and then 24, and 5 is the default value. And then again, we have A equals 100, C equals 50, and the default value of 5. Why do we need that level of complexity in our functions? Because eventually you might be writing functions that are that complex. Will you be writing functions that complex today? Absolutely not. We're going to go much simpler. Okay, but knowing those options exist, knowing they're available to you, and also knowing how to refer to optional arguments or optional parameters, rather, is beneficial to us, because when you're using a built-in Python function and you have a list of arguments that are possible, you know how to refer to those arguments and choose the ones that you want and choose the right values for each one because you understand how the defaults work. Okay? Now, do I expect everybody to ace this on the first try? No. That's why we have assignments. That's why we work on projects. That's the whole point of doing the work. Because hearing me say it doesn't teach you anything. It's when you start doing it that it becomes useful.